Hello, good morning, welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. I'm out today with Chris. You might recognise him from a few of our other videos. And we're just out doing a little bit of lure fishing at the minute. Like I say, the sun's just come up on the horizon. We are fishing, I was going to say maybe 2 or 3 hours inshore with the lures, and then when the tide drops off, we're going to see about getting our wetsuits on, see what we can find. The water temperature is, 1 second, I will just, 12.8 degrees, so yeah, it's getting colder. See how we get on. Chris is fishing with a, what is it, a fish minnow?
Yeah.
And I've just got a little biscuit minnow, soft plastic. Not that it's a competition or anything, but Chris has already had one fish.
1-0 up. So.
Let him go head start. You just dropped straight into, you cheeky mare.
2-0 now.
Just dropped straight into a fish when I was setting up.
Good, bro.
I hope it's chewed your lure. Pollack.
It's 2-0.
I guess it's when you know that you're a piker.
Yeah,
Even our James. Sometimes when we come down to Myla, we're going to go and put something in the bin, like at the end of the day. He's like, "Oh Dad, we're going bin foraging." Don't go telling anybody that me and you go raking round in bins.
So you know that ginger lad who came down here when I was sharking that time? From Essex?
Yeah.
He's terrible. He gets bin raided for food, you know, like he goes beyond like Co-op and Tesco and things like that. He gets like cakes and all sorts there.
I told you about that time when I was working as a security guard in that co-op up in Scarborough.
Right.
And they've got like a radio system that speaks to all the doormen and all the security guards. Got a call over the radio from the CCTV for like Scarborough. It was like, "Can you go and check your bin area?" And I was like, "Why?" It's just because there's been a pair of legs sticking out your bin for about 20 minutes. I went in, the tramp had gone in bin, gone in head first and got stuck and couldn't get out. Gone in there for like loaves of bread that were 2 days out of date.
Half that food is up.
There's a fish on the bottom. Bugger! I'd literally just looked round at the sounder and I'd said, "Oh, there's a fish on bottom," and he's upped it. You're going to get hold of that fish, you know?
It's got a good one.
Found yourself a nice pollock.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice fish. It's alright. Not sure enough.
Quite a drag really, isn't it?
Yeah. Just going to say, never mind 3-0, that counts 4-0. Just 2 6 hours.
Nice one. Hey. Yeah, are you watching Knocking Off Man? Don't worry about that.
Whoa. Tell you what, that is that is a good fish, that. Yeah, that is a... I don't usually hold other people's fish, but yeah, that's a big pollock. Definitely a big one for inshore. I'll give you... Yeah, it's a double figure pollock, well done. It's alright.
3-0 now?
No, like I said, that'll count as 4-0.
Yeah, worried for you, to be honest. Don't bother my little.
No, I'm alright. No denying any work. You want to have a guess? We'll get that fish dispatched. Yeah. They're fantastic fish. We'll get some photos of that as well. That was a nice little productive drift. I'm going to run that one again. In the meantime, I'm going to hobble Chris by getting him to explain his setup while I try and sneak a fish out.
So basically, you got a 10 to 40 gram Daiwa BG spinning rod with a 3,500 slammer, 30 pound braid, a 25 pound fluoro leader, and a fish 42 gram black minnow. So, yeah, did the job then.
Yeah, definitely. This might actually dispel one of those common myths. I've always gone with like a darker colour braid, like I like dark green. I guess in my mind it's because I think that's probably a wrasse. I like dark green because I always kind of thought in my mind it's like seaweed. You're using bright yellow.
Yeah, always have
So
them.
it doesn't put them off.
See where your line is then.
One day.
One day. I don't want to be the person to get eaten by that one day, so.
We're just talking about the prospect of great white sharks in the UK, and we're both of the opinion that it's absolute nonsense. It's not anything to do with the water temperature, it's not anything to do with the food sources, because the temperature's right, the water's clear enough.
Oh, he's done him again.
Oh, you
Done him again.
Nobody likes a show off. Yeah, as I was saying, the water temperature's right for them, there's food sources for them. But, and one thing that people just aren't taking into account is, there are a lot of people around that don't know what one looks like. So all they see is they see a big shark and they think it's a great white shark. There aren't very many of them around in the world. It's not to say that in the future, if conservation goes to work, that there won't be in the future, but there aren't right now.
But when you dive in somewhere deep.
Yeah, we were talking about free diving in really deep water. There's always that worry in your mind that there's going to be a great white shark.
Yeah, I know. There's another pollock. You don't want to. You're asking for it.
I was just going to say,
You're asking for it.
anything in nature around in Australia is just primed to mess you up. Whether it's saltwater alligator or saltwater crocodiles or what is it? I want to borrow that lure.
I've got another one in my box on it. It's 5 now.
If there was ever a video to show you how sometimes one lure can outfish another, we're fishing in exactly the same place next to each other with almost the same weight lure. It's just his is a fish and mine is a biscuit. Storm. Can you just throw that one back?
That's a bigger than another one.
Some days the fish just want a certain colour, a certain pattern. I'm not going to accept that he's a better angler than me, especially not while he's here.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you.
We've come into this little sheltered area here just so that we can put the anchor down and get the wetsuits on. Anyway, I've just got the anchor set and a seal's popped up, and I'm not joking, its head was like a basketball. It was a really big one. So yeah, I'm gonna get changed, but if I bump into that seal underwater, I think we're gonna end up moving because he was a monster. Right. There we go. Yeah, it's not warm. Chris is hidden away down there, all wrapped up, trying to keep warm. I'm going to go for a scout about. Chris is going to stay up here as well, I can overwatch in case I get molested by a seal.
It's only there, mate.
Yeah, let's go see what we can find. If you look carefully here in this snake-lox anemone, you can see a pair of leeches spider crabs. A wonderful symbiotic relationship, whereas the anemone provides protection against predators for the spider crab. Here I've found a pregnant brown edible crab. You can see her holding her eggs there underneath her abdomen. These incredible creatures can produce up to 3 million eggs in a spawning. Right, well that's about us. You can see that the weather has changed, there's a bit of rain coming, and I don't know about you, but I'm cold.
Yeah.
I'm very, very cold. Yeah, we've been out a total of about 8 hours today. I didn't catch a fish up until about an hour ago. Yeah, Chris has absolutely done me today with the fishing. Nailed a fantastic pollock in there. We did get, this core box is perfect for doing this. Some amazing scallops in there. You can calm down in there. Some of these are crackers. Easy. Clapping away. And yeah, they'll do nicely in there. We had a few nice mackerel, and how many pollock did you end up with in the end?
4 pollock and a bass, not us counting.
Yeah, not like any of us were counting. I guess it just goes to show that sometimes it's just not your day. I've had a good day. I am very cold though. Like I said, the water temperature today has been around about 12 degrees. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more diving anytime soon, but got a lovely feed there. Yeah, I'll see you in the kitchen. Hello. Right, I have made it to Spargos kitchen, and we have the just dealing with the scallops. Some fantastic fresh scallops. That was a real meaty one. I'll just show you how to shuck one off.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah, there you go. And then just take a spoon and scoop it out. There's always one bit in there. There you go. Try one more. Nearly got it all in one.
Split scallops and frozen some. These I'm going to, because they're such a generous size, I'm actually going to cut in half. They'll be just seared in a hot pan, and they will top our lobster risotto. So here's the lobster that John caught, was humanely dispatched and cooked earlier. It's now cold, and we'll slip that and take the meat out. We've got arborio rice, risotto rice, a little bit of fresh tarragon, a white onion, some garlic, tomato, dry white wine, a bit of olive oil, and a little bit of thyme. I have in this pan reserved some of the cooking water from the lobster, and I'm going to add some tomato and the onion root and a tiny bit of tarragon, and that will form the stock for the risotto. So into the lobster water there's a couple of stalks of tarragon. I'll finely chop the onion because we need this finely chopped for the risotto. And as we get towards the back of the onion, there, that can go in. And we'll do this whilst the stock is having a little simmer. We'll get on and pick the meat out of the lobster, chop up the shells, and add those in with the lobster stock too.
I know that this guy has got a thick shell, so he's going to be quite stubborn if you try and crack it. So if you can push and pick like that, rather than having to break them, you can make the job easier for yourself. This isn't going to...
Just pop those straight into the saucepan.
And for the tail's much easier to do in this. you can break the back off like that, and then just like that. And now it's out. There's the picked lobster meat.
Right, I've got a largish pan with a couple of good kitchen spoons of olive oil, which is warm. In this pan we have a bit of lobster cooking water, the shells, some tomato, that is a couple of sprigs of tarragon. So that's got a lovely lobster aroma to it. Just going to keep that simmering away, and now we want to just gently cook these onions, finely chopped garlic, a little bit more heat. So salt, ground white pepper, and just a little bit of ground black. Put the lid on so they cook without colour, and let those go for a good 5 minutes. There's about 500 grams. I'm not going to put all of it in, but the onions have softened nicely. Without any colour, and we're just going to stir the rice so that each grain gets coated with the onion and the oil.
It's quite a nice sound, that.
Yeah, yes, it is, isn't it? You could use that as a recording for a child's comforter.
I was just thinking it's quite a therapeutic sound. It's almost like the sound of when you're stirring the mussel shells in the pot. I quite like that sound as well.
Right, John. Now, I'm going to do this in the sink. I've got a jug and a fine strainer, and I'm just going to tip there we go. So, I'm going to put the stock back in the pan.
It smells amazing.
It does smell good. It's almost like a thin soup, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Clear
It's, I'm trying to find the right way of describing it. It's got like a little bit of sweetness with the tomatoes, but it's definitely a seafood smell, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. So we can let that reduce slightly so that we lose some of the volume and the flavour will intensify. Another stir of the rice. Good. Dry white wine.
You could go non-alcoholic if you wanted to, wouldn't you?
You could just use stock. I'm just going to let that simmer away for a couple of minutes on its own. Wine has cooked down to next to nothing. I'm just going to taste the stock just for seasoning. Ooh, just a touch of salt and a bit of seasoning. I didn't, when we cooked the lobster, I didn't put any salt in the water because I knew I wanted the stock. Usually when cooking lobsters at home you would put lots of salt in them.
Aye, but it'd end up like brine, wouldn't it? Almost a bit salty.
Wouldn't have used it. Right, now we're going to cook the risotto out. So just add the stock, a couple of ladlefuls at a time. So we'll just let that on a low light. I don't stir it continually. Just leave that until most of that liquid has been absorbed, and then we'll put a couple more spoonfuls. Whilst the risotto is starting to cook, I'm just cutting the lobster tail. When John picked this from the shell, he removed the intestinal tract. And just little mouth-sized pieces. when we've got the stock into the risotto, we'll just gently fold the cooked lobster meat in and let it take up some heat. And whilst we've got the board and the knife, we're going to sear the scallops. So I'm just going to cut them in half. And these little discs of scallop will just take seconds. First of the stock has almost gone, so pan is on a low heat. Just scrape the grains down off the
Otherwise
side.
you'll end up with the hard,
Otherwise you'll end
hard
up
bit,
with
won't you?
the hard nutty bits, yes. There we go. And just whilst that is cooking, just picking off some fresh tarragon. Right, that's the last of the stock. If we need any more, it'll have to be wine or water.
Is that why you held some of it back? Some of the rice back? Because if there was...
Oh, I had too much in there.
Okay.
Rice is one of those difficult.
Hannah can never do it. She either just does half as much
If
or
you
enough
asked
to
me
feed
do
20
it
people.
for 50 or 250, we'd be spot on. So it's going to be, let's just have a little taste. Yeah, that's almost there. So let's sprinkle in the tarragon leaves. Tarragon is one of those Marmite substances. If you don't like it, don't put it in. Here's the...
I don't know yet. I haven't tried it.
Well,
We'll find out.
in moderation. And if you're using dried tarragon, go very carefully, because dried tarragon is... Now let's just scatter in the lobster meat and the last of that liquid. A gentle stir. I've come to the front ring of the gas stove because it's smaller. Here's our discs of scallop meat. I've just melted like a scant ounce of butter in the microwave and tipped it over the scallops. Got a dry pan. If you butter the scallops before putting them in, you don't get all that splatter and spitting.
So rather than melting butter into a pan, you'll melt butter into a bowl and put the scallops into the bowl.
Yeah. I've just taken the pan off away from the
Those have literally had seconds.
Yes. Pan holds the heat. There we go. Let's try our risotto. Still got right, that's one for you, John.
Amazing. Tell you what, you wouldn't be upset receiving that in a restaurant, would you? That does look. Try and get it in the light there.
Oh my word.
Fantastic. Just a little bit hot.
No. Bloody delicious.
Yeah.
You know, that's so good, I might pay myself 25 quid.
I'm going to get stuck in as well. Well, that is what is left. Yeah, that speaks for itself. Practically licked the balls.
I'm going to go and write myself a cheque now.
Plenty there to take home as well.
And that's Dave Hannah cooking tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Jim. That was absolutely delicious. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely stuffed now.
Yeah.
Go and sit down and go into a food coma.
I need to go and lie down.
Well,
sorry.
I hope you enjoyed joining us. All the very best.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
See you later.